Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Table.
Okay, fine. Okay, so we have started in last class, that is effect of clearing time on stability. So we have actually this particular point where this clearing time, it is affecting the system stability. We will understand in detail. There is a concept of clearing time and clearing angle. Okay, so those things we'll actually calculate with the help of this power system stability. Now, here, let us say this is a two parallel lines. In last class, we have actually started this point, two parallel lines, and one line is faulty and it is grounded. So the generator, it is having the mechanical input PM, and after that we have a transformer, and then this transmission line, and then we have the infinite pass. Okay, so let us say the fault has occurred in this particular line. So if a three-phase fault occurs at the point P of the outgoing radial line, the electrical output of the generator instantly reduces to 0. That is P equal to 0, and the state point drops to B. So in this case, this is the actually power angle curve. Okay, P sine delta. So this upper part is the generating mode, and if it is going in the negative side, that will be the motoring mode. Okay, but here we are interested for the synchronous generator. Okay, because power system stability, we are actually discussing here that there is a mechanical input and there is electrical output. So obviously there is a synchronous generator is in operation. So what should be the basically output, or how the system will behave? That is basically we are concerned on the first part of the power angle curve. That is basically first half of the power angle curve. So now here you see this is the your mechanical input PM0. This is the constant. Now what will happen? There is a three-phase fault. So when there is a three-phase fault, this immediately both the breakers are isolated. Immediately, the two lines will be immediately isolated. So it will not happen. This breaker will be only isolated. Okay, both the lines, both the breakers will basically isolate, and then what will happen? The power output, that is the whatever the power output from this generator, it will not reach to the load. So the power output immediately it falls to 0. So what will happen? This point, this is the operating point, initial operating point, because this is your mechanical input and this is your electrical power output. The intersecting point is A. So this point will shift to this 0. That means here at this point, P equal to 0. So the electrical output is 0, and what will happen? Electrical output is 0 at this point when the fault has occurred. Now power output is 0 and your input is fixed. What will happen? The rotor gets accelerated. So we need to understand this one thing I will tell you. This is very, very important. We need to understand this thing. If the electrical power output, the electrical power output is greater than the mechanical input, so rotor will be accelerated or rotor will be decelerated? Rotor will be, what will happen? Rotor will be accelerated or it will be decelerated. So your input is PM and your output is P. So when output is more than input, so what will happen? Rotor will be decelerated. Okay. Similarly, electrical power output is less than mechanical input, so rotor will be, so in this case you see this is your mechanical input, so this is basically greater than your electrical output. Here it is PM is less than your electrical output. So rotor in this case will be accelerated. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what will happen, you see, rotor, because here electrical power output is 0 and mechanical input is fixed. So input is greater than the output. So rotor gets accelerated. Now, up to what time it will be accelerated? It is basically, let us say, up to delta equal to delta C. So what will happen? Here the fault has occurred. Now immediately you have cleared that fault. That means you have opened the circuit breaker. So instantly what will happen? The power output is 0, input is more. So rotor will accelerate, rotor will continuously accelerate. But after some times, you are isolating this line and you are restoring this line. So power is now restored. So at delta equal to delta C. So this, we are interested on this particular point. This is your critical clearing time and critical clearing angle. At T equal to TC, this is the critical clearing time. We'll find out this value later on. So at delta equal to delta C, that means at this particular angle, this is the clearing angle. So clearing angle, this particular, the power is restored. So it will be restored at this point, at D. So when the power is restored, so power will be actually fed to the infinite bus. Your power will be fed to the infinite bus. So at this point, we can see your electrical power output is more than your mechanical input. Okay. So what will happen? The rotor starts decelerating. But at this moment, when you are actually closing the switch, instantly it will not happen due to the rotor inertia. So rotor inertia is such a thing which we need to understand that immediately, if you are changing certain condition, immediately the effect will not be observed in a mechanical system. It will take some time, and after that, it will settle back to the original condition. So because of that reason, the rotor gets accelerated for some duration, let us say at delta equal to delta 1. So at delta equal to delta 1, the rotor is completely, let us say, what will happen this period. So we know this is your accelerating area. This is your A1, because this whatever area it is covered under this particular curve. Okay, this is your mechanical input curve, and we know below this power angle curve. Okay, this particular area is your accelerating area. Rotor is accelerating. But this particular area here, up to this point, the rotor will be accelerated. After that, it will start decelerating. That means it will go back again. So this particular area is known as the decelerating area. Now, as per the equal area criteria, whatever the area of the A1 should be equal to area of A2 for the power system stability. Now, power system stability criteria, it is basically here we will understand that the rotor, the whatever energy it is consumed in this particular region, that will be completely released. Okay. So now after this, when it will start decelerating, so about this point delta C, the rotor will be continuously oscillated. Okay. So after some time, this will be settled back, or it will, the steady state will reach, and the rotor will be basically reach to the steady state condition at delta equal to delta C. So now we'll understand here the acceleration area A1 begins to increase, so does the rotor angle while the state point moves along the BC. So what will happen in this case? This is your accelerating period from B to C. At time TC corresponding to angle delta C, the faulted line is cleared by opening of the line circuit breaker. So at delta equal to delta C, the breaker will be actually, it has cleared the fault and the line is again restored. So the values of TC and delta C are respectively known as the clearing time and the clearing angle. So this is very, very important. This is the clearing angle and clearing time. So the system once again becomes healthy and transmit P equal to P max sine delta, and the state curve, state point shifts to D on the original P delta curve. So just now I told you at this point, at clearing angle, the power is again restored back. Power is restored back. So immediately the operating point will shift from C to D. Okay, so this will be, the operating point is now at this position. So at this position means the electrical power output is more than your mechanical input. Now the rotor now decelerates and the decelerating area E2 begins while the state point moves along the D. So what will happen? I told you, because of the inertia, it will continuously accelerate for some duration. But after that, so till what time it will continue? Till whatever energy is stored from this delta 0 to delta C, the whatever energy is stored, that is completely released during this period. So if an angle delta 1 can be found such that A2 equal to A1, the system is found to be stable. So that means this particular area A1 should be equal to area A2. So the system finally settles down to the steady state operating point in an oscillatory manner because of the inherent damping. So because of the inherent damping, the system will reach to the steady state condition. Now critical clearing time and angle. As the clearing of the faulted line is delayed, A1 increases and so does delta 1 to find A2 equal to A1 till delta 1 equal to delta max. Okay. Now for a clearing time or angle larger than this value, the system would be unstable as A2 is less than A1. So we have to understand this thing very clearly. The accelerating area should be equal to the decelerating area. So for any system to be stable, this is the foremost important condition. The accelerating area should be equal to decelerating area. That means what will happen in this accelerating area? The rotor will store the kinetic energy, and here during this decelerating period, rotor will release the stored kinetic energy. Okay. Now, when this accelerating period will come, this we have to understand. If input, that is the mechanical input is greater than electrical output, and here mechanical decelerating area or decelerating period, it will come when mechanical input is less than electrical output. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, actually, Pansar was supposed to take class, na? At this point. Actually, I have not seen that post. Okay, so I have to shift your class. I have some other work. Because of that reason, I have shifted. But yes, Pansar will take some in some other time. So the maximum allowable value of the clearing time and the angle for the system to remain stable are known as respectively the critical clearing time and the angle. So at delta equal to delta C, what will happen? The circuit is cleared. Okay, so that particular angle at delta equal to delta C, this particular angle is known as the critical clearing angle, and the time corresponding to that, whatever time is there, so that time is known as the critical clearing time. So now we'll calculate how to calculate the critical clearing angle. Now here you see this delta max. What is delta max? First, let us understand this delta max. So delta max means this delta 1. Delta 1, up to what extent we can continue. So this delta max, this delta 1 is basically delta max. So you don't know up to what extent delta 1 will continue. up to this position or this position or this position. So this particular thing we can determine pi minus delta 0. So delta 0 is known to you because this is the initial operating point. So this initial operating point, how you can calculate? That is mechanical input equal to electrical power output. So mechanical input is PM and electrical output is your P max. So here you see this is basically delta max equal to pi minus delta 0. Now we know P max equal to P max sine delta 0. That is the initial condition. Now A1 equal to, what is A1? A1 equal to your accelerating area. So accelerating area equal to integration delta 0 to delta critical angle PM minus P0 into d delta. So I will just tell you here. Okay, so this will be, let us say, this is your power angle curve. This is your power angle curve. Okay, now this is your PM. This is your PM. And this is your delta 0. This point is your delta 0. Now, at delta equal to delta C, again the power is restored. So this is your accelerating area. This is your accelerating area. So now we are calculating. So this is your PM curve. This is PM, and this curve is your P max sine delta 0. Okay, P equal to P max sine delta. So your accelerating area A1 will be equal to integration delta 0. So we are integrating from delta 0 to delta C. This is your PM and this is your 0 curve. So whatever area is there, that is your accelerating area. So PM minus, this is d delta. So PM will be taken outside. This will be delta, d delta. If you integrate, this is delta. So this will be delta 0 to delta C. So this is PM minus into delta C minus delta 0. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll calculate the decelerating area. So decelerating area, that is the next part. That is delta CR to delta max, P max sine delta minus PM. And then we have to integrate. We have to integrate and we have to substitute the limit. Okay. So let us see how to do this thing. So now from delta C and this is your, let us say, delta max. This is your delta max. Now your decelerating area is this period. This is your decelerating area. So this is your A2. So now we'll calculate A2. A2, how we can calculate? This is integration delta C to delta max. This will be P max sine delta minus PM into d delta. Okay, because this is your P curve and this is your PM curve. This is your PM curve. Okay, so whatever area is there, and we are integrating between this delta C to delta max because we are integrating this period. So this is your P max sine delta, that means minus P max cos delta. This is delta C to delta max minus PM delta C to delta max. This will be equal to minus P max, and cos delta we will substitute cos of delta max minus cos of delta C. This will be PM into delta minus, sorry, this will be delta max minus delta C. Okay, so this is your decelerating area A2. Now for the system to be remaining stable, A2 should be equal to A1. Okay, so for the system to be remaining stable, A2 equal to A1, and we need to calculate what is cos delta CR, that we have to calculate. So let us see, we'll calculate that thing. Okay, so we'll calculate cos of delta CR equal to how much, because we are interested on the critical clearing angle. So A1 equal to, for system stability, A2 equal to A1. That means what is A2? PM into delta C minus delta 0. Okay, delta C minus delta 0. So delta C CR minus delta 0 equal to minus P max into cos delta max minus cos delta C minus P max cos sir, good afternoon. Good morning. सर मैं एक्चुअली क्लास में हूँ, हाँ ठीक 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 ठीक, जरूर जरूर. So cos of delta max minus cos of delta CR. Okay, and then we have minus PM into delta max minus delta C. So minus PM delta max minus delta CR. So cos of delta CR you have to calculate, cos of delta CR. So what we'll do, we know that this delta max equal to pi minus delta 0. We know that. So what will happen, this will be PM delta CR minus delta 0 minus P max. This will be cos of delta max means pi minus delta 0 minus cos of delta CR minus PM delta max minus delta CR. So delta max equal to, here we'll substitute pi minus delta 0. Okay. So from this particular thing we'll calculate. So this will be equal to minus PM. So cos of is minus P max, cos of pi minus delta 0. This will be minus cos delta 0 minus cos delta CR, and this will be P max into pi minus delta 0 minus delta CR. Okay. So from here you see this will cancel. So this will be PM delta CR minus PM delta 0. This will be plus P max cos delta 0 plus P max cos delta CR. This will be minus pi into P max. This will be delta 0 into P max. Okay, plus P max delta CR. So this will cancel both sides, and from here you will get this cos delta CR. Okay, is it clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So finally, this cos delta CR value, so cos delta CR value will come PCR by P max. So whatever, just last line, it is the next step. Okay, P max PM by your P max into the delta max minus delta 0 plus cos of delta max. So where delta CR is the critical clearing angle. Okay. Now this delta CR will be what? Delta CR will be cos inverse of this whole term, cos inverse of whole term. This Pm by Pmax equal to your sine delta 0. Okay. And delta max equal to, you can substitute pi minus delta 0. So this becomes pi minus 2 delta 0. Then this is sine delta 0. And this cos delta max equal to, if you substitute pi minus delta 0, this will be minus cos delta 0. So this is minus cos delta 0. Is it clear? Is it clear, this clearing, critical clearing angle? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll take attendance. Just a minute. Now please put your attendance quickly. Quickly you put your attendance. Is it over? Is it over? Okay or not? Have you given your attendance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Now, similarly, we can derive the critical clearing time. So, if let us say there is a fault has occurred at t equal to 0, and after some time the fault will be, because that fault will be sensed by the relay, fault current will be sensed by the relay, and relay will initiate the circuit, the break, it will give the signal to the breaker, and the breaker will open. So we know that during the period the fault is persisting, the swing equation will be d2 delta by dt square equal to pi f by h to pm. So p equal to 0. Now we have to integrate these two times. So delta equal to pi f by 2ish pm t square plus delta 0. So this we have to integrate this. And delta CR will be equal to, basically, we are substituting here delta equal to delta CR and t equal to TCR. So delta CR will be equal to pi f by 2h pm t square CR delta. So from here you can calculate the TCR value. TCR is square root of 2h into delta CR minus delta 0 by pi f into pm. Okay, because this we are actually calculating from this swing equation. Okay, fine. Okay, so now I'll stop here. So we'll continue in next class. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.